In this video, I'm going to talk about slumps and plateaus in training and how you might overcome them. If you stick with Kendo or Iaido long enough, everyone will go through slumps or plateaus. And when I say everyone, I mean everyone.
Bring me everyone.
What do you mean, everyone?
It's certainly not unique to Kendo or Iaido, but it is compounded by the fact that many people can and do practice for many years. And as long as you're practicing, you'll have to deal with slumps and plateaus. Some coaches believe that slumps and plateaus are actually a consolidation period during which your body is trying to absorb and internalize the practice up to that point. So you may not see visible progress, and sometimes in fact it feels like you're taking a step back, but there's a lot of stuff bubbling under the surface. When you come out the other end of a slump or a plateau, what often ends up happening is that you make a quantum leap. Sometimes you don't realize you've made a quantum leap until, for example, you play somebody that you haven't played for a long time during Chigeko, and you end up doing quite well against them, even though previously you found them quite tricky to play. The real danger of a slump or plateau is not that you don't make progress, but you get so discouraged by the apparent lack of progress that you quit altogether. When an activity becomes not so enjoyable, which is what happens during a slump or plateau, then the option of quitting looms very large in your mind. But it helps to keep things in perspective and have realistic expectations. When you're a beginner, you often see dramatic improvements within a couple of months. As you get higher in rank, the gains aren't so obvious, so some people lose motivation because they don't see progress as rapidly as they did before. So to measure progress, you have to take a longer view. You have to compare yourself to how you were doing a year ago, or maybe even 2 years ago. Soldiering through a rough patch in life is generally seen as a virtue, and I would tend to agree. But when it comes to Kendo or Iaido, there comes a point where being stoic can be counterproductive. Sometimes you just need a break. There's some research that suggests that slumps are caused by mental fatigue, and for some, the only remedy is taking a break. But if you do have plans to return to Kendo or Iaido, you'll be well served by staying in shape with other forms of training, whatever they may be. The method of overcoming slumps and plateaus that I'd like to encourage is to shift your training focus to becoming a good motodachi, that is, a good practice partner. There are actually many technical things that you can learn from being a good motodachi, including distance, striking opportunities, tenouchi, the list goes on. When you start to take interest in how your kohai and peers are progressing, you'll start to see technical issues from a different perspective. And before you know it, you're already on the other side of the slump or plateau. When you hit a slump or plateau, it's often a signal that you may need to change up how you train. You can't keep doing the same thing and expect a different result, particularly if you're in a slump or plateau. The approach that I'd recommend is switching your focus to being a good motodachi. Not only does it have technical merits, but it also has the added benefit that it creates the kind of supportive environment that makes a dojo really worth belonging to.